She wants the praise and adulation for being a martyr because of her great insecurity. A manifestation of this dysfunctional life is her frenetic round of exercise and therapies. She seeks solace in consultations with her astrological counselor, Debbie Frank, whose musings on the fate of Prince Charles and her own fate bolster her feelings of renewal and optimism. Starved of love, she pays for sensual pleasures in what she calls her Pamper Diana days, where a variety of therapists treat her to the delights of deep tissue massage, aromatherapy, acupuncture, cranial massage, and osteopathy. In her lonely life, her most faithful friend is the telephone. She spends many hours a day chatting to friends, pouring out her sorrows and ruminating about her estranged husband and the rest of the royal family. Her global celebrity merely sharpens this sense of emotional isolation. She feels that she is in a prison, not just a goldfish bowl, but within her own experience, a prison with no way out and no shoulder to cry on. It is a terrible space to be in, says an advisor. Diana knows that every time she leaves the safety of her front door, she makes herself a hostage to fortune. Instead, she dines alone, or with her butler, or watches television, and the circle of isolation is complete. Thwarted by her position from finding a new love, the princess dwells on the past and what she has lost. She feels profound anger at the position she finds herself in, endlessly exasperated by the unfairness of her lot. Unfairness is a word she uses often. Her sense of outrage is directed against an institution whose standards and values she believed in and which betrayed her. Bitterness towards a husband who rejected her for another, and indignation towards those, especially in the media, who refuse to acknowledge what she sees as the injustice of her situation. She looks back on her carefree bachelor time as the happiest days of my life. As she recalls, "Before I married into the royal family, I didn't know about jealousy or depressions or unhappiness. I had such a wonderful existence as a kindergarten teacher." During the marriage, Diana expressed her frustrations in shouting matches with Prince Charles, and when they wearied of the battle, she would go to her bedroom and beat her bed with a tennis racket. Or she would get into her car and go for a high-speed burn-up until she had cooled down. Now photographers face the lash of her tongue while her exploration of numerous New Age therapies allows her to channel her rage. Her regular colonic irrigations, a water treatment that flushes out toxins from the bowel, are a tonic because, as she says, they take all the aggro out of me. Every Thursday she visits a Beecham Place clinic for a colonic and also for anger release sessions, where a therapist encourages her to shout and scream, venting her fury on a punch bag. Her soothsayers forecast that 1994 would be the year to deal with the anger she feels, a shorthand for saying that Diana would now be able to let go of the past and forge ahead in a new direction. A sense of how deep her anger runs is shown by her flirtation with Roman Catholicism. She has a number of Catholic friends, including Mother Teresa, and the princess enjoys the ceremonial side of the service. She believes that in a previous incarnation she was a nun. However, what really engaged her interest was the notion that, under the Catholic creed, her marriage could be annulled on the grounds that her husband had taken his marriage vows cynically, since Diana believed that Charles was involved with another woman at the time. It was a seductive but ultimately fanciful idea. It was pointed out that if her marriage were annulled, her children would be illegitimate. She has now dismissed the notion. This need to avenge her rejection is matched by her continued obsession with the relationship that cast a long shadow over her marriage. While she affects an indifference to the fate of Prince Charles and Camilla Parker Bowles, she watches their every move like a hawk and gleans every scrap of gossip about them that she can. With one of her soothsayers, she will plot Camilla's astrological chart. Like Diana, she is a Cancerian, and then she mulls over the runes. She ponders their fate with a brooding and morbid fascination, asking herself and her friends if they will find happiness together, or if he will ever have the courage to give up the throne for the woman Diana believes he loves. At times she has sympathy for their plight. "He won't give her up, and I wish him well," she told a friend. "I would like to say that to his face one day." That mood soon easily turns to reproach.